So I'm Alexander Sugar, giant mole on the right hand, penguin duck birthmark. So as I was saying, it's 325, August 21st. As I've written to the UN numerous times and others, whatever this Illuminati president jazz is, and this computer game and this other jazz. And these kids were conspiring to make a puppet president. And what they did is they put all these implantable devices in my brain, nervous system, peripheral nervous system, heart, genitals, lungs. And I guess they thought I was going to get a hold of some game and control something. And then I guess they were going to use their implantables to try to abuse me into compliance. One thing they thought is they could use the tech and program me to follow orders, but that never worked. And then they tried to abuse me into compliance, but that never worked. But they potentially could abuse you into compliance, and to put you in fear of your life to where you would react with the type of response of someone in fear of their life, not using reason and logic, operating with fight or flight and sympathetic overload, maybe impaired emotional and behavioral regulation, rash thinking, and not thinking before you act. So maybe that's one of the things they conspire. So if I was supposed to control some world or game, they're going to abuse me, put me in fear of my life, shock my heart, shock my genitals, probably damage my frontal lobe, damage my amygdala, a region of my brain associated with emotions and behavior, emotional regulation, behavioral regulation, prefrontal lobe associated with reason and logic, etc., and other regions associated with analysis and thinking. And then maybe give me this game, put me in my fear of my life with this this state of a neurocompromised state, and then try to put me in fear of my life, get me to react with their game or something, as well as also abuse me covertly, try to abuse me into compliance, and try to make me follow orders and do X, Y, and Z in some game and whatever the hell else they were complying, or whatever else they were conspiring. But that's a piece of this as well. So there's this Illuminati president jazz, and they put all these devices in my brain, and they keep trying to cover it up. And I'm overhearing they're supposed to remove stuff that they never removed, and they kept covering up. And then they were supposed to arrest people they never arrested. So what they conspired is to pretend to arrest people, pretend to remove devices, and then they were going to make me some president jazz or something. I don't know what's entailed in it, whether meeting people in real life or controlling some game or both. But then while such was going on, they had their little terrorist organization with the software that interacts with this device in my brain and body, heart, lungs, genitals. And then they were going to pretend to arrest them. But what they're really going to do is use them to try to abuse me into compliance and push agendas. Maybe if there's this computer game, have me hire people, fire people, and God knows what else they were conspiring. But that's a piece of it. So they're basically trying to create this wooden boy president, puppet president, and use me to manipulate stuff in some shape or form. And I'd written this to the UN a long time ago, numerous times now, as well as others. But they still may be conspiring, that is what I'm gathering. And that's why they haven't removed all these devices and are still placing devices. Because they were also at one point trying to program me to manipulate bets as a betting mule. And I always told them to eat shit. Even when they shocked my heart, I told them to eat shit. So that's another piece of this. But that's some more of this. And then some of these people actually thought that I had this game and thought I was controlling something that I'd never seen. And they were using all this tech on my brain and body. Granted, no one ever gave me any orders to control anything in any game or hire or do anything, really. So then that means they knew I never saw the game, because that's what they did conspire. But no one was ever telling me to do anything in this game. So that's how you know they know I never saw the game, because they had all these devices in my brain and body, genitals, etc. But these little mind melder people, if that was their plan, they never told me to do anything in any game, even though they had all these devices. I mean, they got all these devices in my heart. They could have shocked my heart and tried to get me to hire this guy or do this or do that. So that never happened. So that should tell you they knew I'd never seen this game and was never controlling it, which is key. That's another piece of analysis. But there's something about when I become 40, so they're conspiring something shady like that as well, and still haven't arrested these terrorists with this tech, with this software that interacts with tech in my brain and body, and they still haven't taken this tech out of my brain or body. So that's a key point. So be wary. Praise Jesus. Or this President Jazz is, anyways.